Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be doing not one, but two Akashic Records readings. These are going to be channeled messages. They will be timeless. So, whenever it finds you and it resonates, please feel free to take it into your heart. My name's Carrie Koss. I'm a medium and mentor, and I want to get started right away. When I tuned into what the energy was from the Akashic Records and meditated there, I was shown very clearly that these readings are going to be about relationships. They're not going to be about the other person, though. They're going to be about you and what you are currently working on, releasing, avoiding, or need to come to terms with. My readings tend to be very in depth and reflective and empowering and healing. So, thank you for being here. So, I have some notes that are connected to both of the readings. So, they will be time stamped below, and you'll be able to clearly tell which one is which. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put it in the comments. I love talking to all of you. Now, these readings that we're doing today are actually by request from the subscribers here on the channel. So I really recommend that we connect and interact with each other because I love giving my subscribers in-depth messages and healing information that's going to help them on their spiritual path and journey. So, when I began meditating in the Akashic Records, the first thing I heard was cold. Someone is cold. And as I went further and started getting more wisdom and information from the guardians of the records that I connect with and the guides, they really said that someone in your life right now is acting really cold towards you and there's a block there. Now, in so much as that we know that can happen in a lot of different situations, but this in particular isn't so much about the other person, as I mentioned. This has a lot to do with how you're responding to this cold person. Now, remember, this doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship. This can be a coworker, a family member, even a child, a sister, a friend, anyone really, but it's how you are interpreting their reactions towards you and what it's doing to you and what it's bringing up. So, what the records are suggesting is that you are becoming intertwined with this person's energy and that it really has illustrated to you your overinvestment in how they feel, how they're responding to you. So, it's could be extremely triggering for you. It can also bring up a lot of energy that makes you feel a sense of self-doubt. And also, you're interpreting that coldness as something that you have done that should be fixed. And that's where we want to take a look at this. Now, the other thing that the guardians mentioned in the records is that you've been asleep at the wheel in this relationship and that it's time for you to really start to pull your energy back from them. And that's where they want me to then start moving into the card portion of the reading and go a little bit more in depth. Now, the way I do readings is really based on my 30 years of being a psychic medium, an energy healer, and a mentor. And so, my task for you and for doing this reading is to give you wisdom, information, guidance, and tools that's going to help you really live in the most alignment possible. So that's where I'm coming from. So this isn't as much about predictions as it is about wisdom for self and healing. Also on the channel, there's a lot of guided meditations and wisdom and information that is going to help you move through some of the blocks that are coming up. So I'm very led to working with these oracle cards. So again, we're trying to look at how we're tethered to this person, this archetype, and how it's hurting you and how we need to step away from it. But that's going to take some energy work on your part. Right away, we have whale spirit, trust the great mystery. For me, when we're thinking about changes in a relationship, often that can lead us to feeling ungrounded and untethered, as if what'll happen if I pull my energy away? What will the new relationship even look like? So that is mysterious in that regard. So trust in spirit that you will be led and guided to a new, healthier version of the connection. And it could very well be that you end up staying in a connection with them, but you just don't take things as personally. We also have dear spirit, one of my guides. Here we're getting bring a gentle touch. So that's really about having compassion for yourself and mercy when you're going through this process. I'm also getting a lot of energy, and I look at the chakras and the aura regularly on my with my clients, and I'm really feeling there's a lot here connected to you and your throat chakra. So that means that there's things to be expressed. There's things to be released. There's energy work. Now, I'm going to pin a video here, which is fantastic for helping release energy blocks. And it is a meditation right here on the channel. This will really help quite a bit. We're also getting fox spirit. Think on your feet. Part of when we're understanding a dynamic that we have with a person where we don't feel satisfied, it is triggering us, it's difficult. What we need to understand is that we have to be 2 steps ahead of the pattern. Otherwise, we're just reacting to our environment, and it is keeping us in this way stuck and continuing to relive the pattern over and over again. I'm going to move now into the tarot. I do feel like this connection is tethered to a past life. They had me pull one of my past life decks. I also do readings in the Akashic Records for past lives, so stay tuned for those. So we have the Princess of Swords. We also have the 7 of Swords, so we already have a lot of mental, and we have a lot of criticism, we have a lot of negative words. So Princess of Swords, 7 of Swords, and then we have the Tower. Okay, so for me, if I'm just looking at this psychically in your records, and again, when we're talking about a group reading, a collective reading, sometimes many of us at the same time as we're evolving and growing spiritually and healing as we are right now in the age of Aquarius, a lot of us have the same wounds that we are retrieving, releasing, and healing. So when I'm looking at past lives, this may not be exactly a life designed for one particular person, but it's an archetype of a life. So it means that many of you have had similar experiences in these past lives. And one of the things we do here on the channel is we look at how to release the impact of past life karma on our current life. So right away, we're getting the Tower card here, major explosion. I want to say I'm getting an image of something that I would consider almost as though there was like a natural disaster. This feels to me like it was about 500 years ago. I'm getting literally like a volcano erupting, and I'm getting an image of you being somebody who is very dependent on either a parent or an uncle or someone who is a provider. And because of this trauma, this experience of this incredible natural disaster, you tethered yourself to this other family member. It feels to me like you did lose other people in your immediate family, and you had to be connected to someone who was like a second family member removed, not someone you were close to. So the relationship you have with this person in your current life now feels as though you're tethered to them, and for some unknown reason, you don't understand the karmic connection. And it's keeping you locked there, and you keep asking yourself, why do I feel connected to this person? I don't even like them, or I don't even care about really what they're saying, who they are, their values, but I feel like I have to be here. So there's something here, and I'm getting this image. So we have 7 of Swords, which for me is a card of analyzing, discernment, and walking away from something that isn't working. But we're also getting this older man here, which feels to me like the older relative who was keeping an eye on you, but barely doing so. And this older relative in this life was out of duty helping you, but had no love. So again, the cold energy, the cold relationship, the cold karma, but you feel tied to them. You being a younger person, this is Princess of Swords, but this could easily be the Page of Swords, right? Same thing. So there's this sense of, oh, I'm in this lowly position. I still have to learn about the world. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like some of you in this lifetime, if this resonates, were very impressionable, still committing to understanding what it was like to be an adult. So that's part of why there's such a connection that you feel like you can't release. So I'm going to move on and look at how can we release this really detrimental, ingrained, energetic connection. It seems like you just can't get off of this is what I'm getting. So I'm going to pull here from an archetypal by Carolyn Mees, her deck that really gives significance as far as types of people. Okay, we're getting here beggar. We need to there's a dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. So that's the shadow attribute. But the healing part of this would be confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival. Wow. Ooh, that is hitting so strong. I'll explain more in a minute. This awakens the authority of spiritual humility, compassion, and self esteem. So, this is showing that you are dependent on others to the exclusion of effort. So, you're overly connected to them, don't know why. And now we're talking about moving on. So, when you're healing this, what we're talking about is you're confronting your sense of self empowerment. That means you're saying, I am empowered. I'm capable. I'm strong. I'm clear. I have the wisdom and the guidance to let this go, this old pattern, this karmic tie. And you're awakening your own spiritual authority, your dominion, your sovereignty over your energy. This does give you deep compassion, self esteem, making you feel humble in the sense of understanding how you have been in this predicament and couldn't figure out how to get out of it. That is so powerful and hitting so strong. We're going to go into the inner child deck just to see if there's anything else. I'm getting the chills all through my body on this reading about this is just hitting. Now, every reading I do, I imbue it and with the intention of channeling Reiki through it so that as you're listening and getting this information, you can receive this healing if you open your heart up to it and accept it. So, the inner child healing we're getting for the final part of this reading is do what you need to do. It may be difficult, but now is the time. So, that is incredible. That's the inner child healing. What is this connected to? This is connected to releasing, trusting spirit, asking your higher self to come in and do some release work on you, some healing work on you. Certainly listen to that meditation I'm going to link. And then the other part is, and we have angels that are coming in or guides, whatever you ascribe to, but we're getting clarity. Wow. I'm getting the chills through my whole body. The message here says, be present, find clarity in the moment. And look at that third eye. So that's you opening up to your clairvoyance, your psychic wisdom, your intuition, and so on. This is such a powerful reading. I really hope that this resonated for you and that you found solace and peace in it, and also some wisdom that's going to help you on your path. Now we're going to move on to reading number 2. The message that really came through for me with this reading was this from the Guardians of the Records. Your guard is up. When you start getting close to people, whether romantic or close friends, acquaintances, you have an automatic reaction that is defensive. A lot of the investment of you being guarded is part of your norm, and you are also feeling underneath that you want to release this and heal and move forward, that you're outgrowing this pattern. You want to be able to feel safe. You want to be able to feel stable and secure, but you're also feeling like you're sabotaging yourself. What I'm hearing is that what it leaves you feeling is a deep sense of loss of self-worth. And the question is, how can I not feel this way any longer? So they're giving me the answer. They're wanting me to pull cards. Again, please feel free to grab any of the meditations I use. And now we're going to just move right into the archetypes card. Again, this is another one I just love the deck that I think is so helpful, which also talks about archetypes. Okay, let's see what we have here. That what I'm getting right away. They're saying to pull 2 cards. So we're going to listen to that wisdom and see. Let me know in the comments how you like these type of readings. Okay. So we're getting the cartographer, a crossroads exploration. I would say that's you wanting to let go and navigate a new journey in your relationships, wanting to let people in a little bit closer, let them see who you are inside. I'm getting an image of you opening up your jacket and letting the light shine out of your heart so that you can connect with people more deeply without so much defensive and guarded sensation here. There is really, for me, I'm hearing there's a parameter here, but there's also a pyramid here. So parameter means we have a lot of guards up around us so people can't get too close. Then the pyramid aspect is you have this funnel that people have to go through to even get close to you. They have to start at the very top, which is really teeny, teeny, tiny, not letting anybody in. And then it goes down and they can get closer to you, but it takes a really long time for you to let people in. So, what I'm getting here, and there is a sense, again, a past life coming up, and I'll go into that in a second. So, this also says the air, unseen potential, hesitation. Notice the crown. There's something there that I'm getting. I'm now, when I'm moving here into the tarot, the first thing I'm hearing is that you were in a past life led down a road to trust people. I also feel like you had a high station. This could be someone who was of, I want to say, we'll call it a higher ranking. And because that's unfortunately in a lot of lifetimes, people were placed in in a hierarchical structure. So you're someone who had prestige, you had station and rank. More than likely, you were part of some type of royalty or a downflow from that. And I feel like you were a male in this life. I'm seeing an image of you being led down the wrong road, thought you could trust people, and then people let you down. So it forever has put this defensiveness into your sphere, into your parameter, into that pyramid so that you feel safe. The problem is with feeling safe, you also feel very lonely, disconnected, and you look at other people and wonder how they do it and how they stay in flow and how they trust people. And it makes you feel like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. How do they do it? Right. So, again, let me show you the duplicitous nature of this experience. So, you're feeling Ace of Wands, excited, wanting to move to a place of trusting people, of opening up, of following your passion. That's a big thing here with the fire energy, starting new things. But Five of Cups is the past life. There's a little castle in the background too, and you were a male, which I think is quite fascinating. You look about this age. So for me, there's an image of you just having hopes, ideas, and being almost vulnerable and open, and then being disappointed and hurt, as if people were trying to capitalize on your kindness. And this really threw you off and into a bad space. It caused a mark in your energy field. Yes, this is interesting. Seven of Wands in the reverse, which means your guard was let down. You didn't have protection. And then you decided from there, Three of Wands. Well, what's next? If that doesn't work, what am I going to do? So, and for survival, you went in another direction. You started investing in, completely different things that were not connected to people. And that's where it feels like I invest in my work. I invest in my creative projects. I invest in something I'm building, but I don't invest in people. But there's a feeling of that wounding coming in. And that spin feeling of I want something holistic. I want to feel balance in my life. I don't want to feel disconnected as if only certain parts of my life are working. So how can we transmute this energy, spirit? And also we're talking to the guides. What do we need to do? Right? Let's move into a different space. So again, this reminds me a lot of the Akashic Records. Starry night, acceptance, right? So this would be learning to accept that this is the way it has been. And then also understanding that you want to then open up to spirit and say, I need help and help me move through this. Help me release this. We're getting bee spirit was prosperity. For me, a bee is very much the divine feminine coming in, nurturing, receiving, undergoing a transformation, but also a new energy that involves a gentle creativity. We're going to go into the inner child deck just to see where the wound is pervasive and lying within you. I do also feel a deep welling in the chest. So that makes me feel like we're talking about mainly in the heart chakra and the throat chakra. And then we have the write a letter. So this is how are you going to move past this? Write a letter to your inner child. You could also look just at the wounded part of yourself and let that part of yourself that's wounded, even if you don't know about this past life, even if you're not sure where the wound began, you just write to a part, the part of you that's hurt, the part of you that needs to be comforted, that needs to be understood. And you let that part of you know that you're safe to release the wound and that you will protect yourself in a way that's open and healthy and pay attention to the nudges from spirit. right? It says, "You deserve to be seen. Let yourself be known." That means letting yourself be open. The deer is that gentle animal, which is just so absolutely beautiful when it comes to being completely non-defense, caring and open, but also very stealthy and smart. So you're not going to lose anything by being open. In fact, what I'm hearing for you is that we need to trust ourselves and we need to carry the baton, they're saying, the light, that Ace of Wands, in a way that lights your way, but it doesn't cause defensiveness. These were absolutely beautiful readings. I hope they resonated with you and made sense. Please be sure to check out those meditations, especially the one I have about healing energy blocks. That's going to really help you. And thank you so much for being here. I'll look forward to seeing you on the channel soon.